Hey guys, it's obvious there is a test next class because this assignment has to do with a practice quiz. So let's take a look. We want to take as much notes as possible. Not just answer the questions because we can use our notes on the test. Okay. The scuba diver descends slowly into the ocean at a constant rate. Okay, so that means each time it looks like they're going 8 foot deeper, 8 foot deeper, 8 feet deeper. So each minute they're going 8 foot deeper. So we notice this is 1 times 8, 2 times 8, 3 times 8, right? How much deeper does the diver descend each 8 feet deeper, right? And it says this is in feet, all right? So 8 feet deeper. Then it says, what is the diver's depth at 7 minutes? Okay, so some students are going ahead and doing it, just repeated addition. So 8, 16, 24. And if we add another 8, 32, add 8, 40, add 8, 48, add 8, 56. So what is the diver's depth? 56 feet. But notice we can kind of figure this out. This 7 times 8 is 56. So we could have gone straight to our answer instead of doing repeated addition, repeating the pattern over and over again. Okay? How long will it take for the scuba diver to reach the coral reef at a depth of 120? So I can keep going. Or I can think of this backwards. So 8, so that'd add another 8. 9, add another 8. Right? I'm not yet to this 120. I do get my answer here. A depth of D8 equals 64. What does this mean in words? Okay, so we notice it's here in our table, and we just have to add in our context. Okay, so D means depth. So this means at a or at 8 minutes, the diver is 64 feet deep. So I'm not all the way to 120. Some students will keep going and going and going. Other students might go, oh, I could have worked backwards. So notice, if I knew this 56, I could divide by 8 and get 7. Or 24 divide by 8 is 3. So 120 divide by 8 is, let's find our calculator. 120 divide, sorry about that. 120 divided by 8 is 15. So if I keep going 9, 10, 11, some of you maybe did this. Then at 15, because 15 times 8 is 120 feet deep. So how long will it take? It will take 15 minutes to get to a depth of 120 feet. Cool. Now we see what is the explicit formula of here. So the first step in this is just to understand what's happening each time, right? So we start at -9, and what's happening each time. So we can kind of piece this together. If I go this way, 15 minus 9 is 6. If I go this way again, 9 minus 3 is 3. Yeah, so they're definitely, if I go this direction, they're adding 6 each time, adding 6, adding 6. I can check this in the calculator. 3 plus 6 plus another 6. Yeah. So they're starting at -9 and adding 6 each time. So we said if they're adding 6 each time, then these would work, but these wouldn't work because that formula would add 9. These would add 9 each time. Now we have to decide what is our starting number. So remember what we said back here, D8 is 64. We know that A, the arithmetic sequence, the first one in the sequence is -9. The second one in the sequence is -3, right? So you could figure out, well, what would be A to the 0 if we plugged in 0 here and 0 here, so I'm not multiplying, what number would be left over? So in one class, we investigated that. So you'd assume if I'm going backwards, I'm going to subtract 6. So -9 minus another -6 is -15. So my guess would be this one, but how can we be sure? My suggestion is just plug this in. So A sub n, 6n minus 15. If we substitute 1 for the n, so 6 times 1, the first number in the sequence, 6 times 1 is 6, take away 15, and we get -9. So the first number in the sequence is -9. That's exactly what we were hoping to see. The first number in the sequence is -9. If you're still not sure, we can try it out with the second number in the sequence. So if we use this formula, A sub 2, and we plug in 2 where we see the letter N, 12 minus 15 is -3, and we notice the second number in the sequence is -3. So we definitely feel good about this choice. Definitely our answer. Okay, the next one says, what goes here, all right? The big jump, 27 take away 17, is 10. So how can I make 10 in 2 jumps? If I divide by 2, I get 5. So this has to go plus 5, plus 5. So figure this one out, that'd be -5. So I think that works out. 12 plus 5 is 17, plus another 5 is 22, plus another 5 is 27. Okay, so that looks good. So the context says, the ski club rents cross-country skis. The table below shows the cost of the rental for 2 and 4 days. So assuming this is an arithmetic sequence, meaning we're just adding or subtracting numbers in the sequence, this makes sense. All right, using the information, what is the cost for renting skis for 11 days? Oh. So again, some students are going to keep going. And again, each time we're adding 5. So that would be 32, 37, 42, 47, 49, or plus 5, what was I saying? 52, 57, 62. $62 to rent skis for 11 days. So they're just adding 5 to each day. Now, could I figured out a formula for that? Well, again, I can work backwards and go to 0. So if instead of adding 5 each time, like going backwards, I can subtract 5. So if I subtract 5 here, it's 7. So I can double check this. It looks like whatever the number in the sequence, they're taking that number and multiplying by 5 each time. But it looks like they're starting at $7. All right, so A sub n, if we put n as 0, we get 7. A sub 1, so 5 times 1 plus 7 is 12. A sub 2, 5 sub 2 plus 7 would be 10 plus 7 is 17. So yeah, this formula actually works really well. We can use it to check when would the number be 11. So A11 would be 5 times 11 plus 7. So 55 plus 7 is 62. Okay, so I feel even better about our answer, $62. Next question, it says for each problem below, determine if it is direct variation or not. So it goes through 0, 0. I like it. It is straight. Yep. So I'm going to have to say yes. This is direct variation. All right, now it says, you are driving to Atlanta for vacation, traveling 65 miles an hour on the highway. So this is hours. When I drive 1 hour, I go 65 miles, all right? And if I go 2 miles, I just go another 65 miles, right? So that'd be 130. And if I go 3 miles, that's just another 65 miles. So notice I have a multiplier here. All I'm doing is multiplying by 65. 1 times 65 is 65. This is my input. This is my output. 2 times 65. 3 times 65. So because one of the criteria is only multiplying or dividing, because if I go backwards, I'm dividing. And I'm doing that, so that's one of the criteria. I also need to check the 0, 0. So if I think backwards here, if I go 0 hours, have I gone 0 miles? Yes, this would include 0, 0 in the number. So I'm going to say, yes, this is direct, an example of direct variation. Okay. Now we look here at question number 5. It says an equation is a mathematical sentence with an equal sign. If the sentence is true for the value of the variable, then the value has a solution. For x plus 2 equal 8, the solution is 6. So when we substitute it back in, that's a true statement. So thinking in this way, they've shown us our steps, and we want to make sure that we draw a line to match the letter for each step. So this is where it's given, right? This is the problem given. And then it looks like, similar to our example in class, it looks like they distributed. So this needs to go there, right? I can write it and I can do my arrow. But again, all it said was my arrow. So that's distribute. Now what it looks like they did is they combined these two terms that are alike. So I'm going to draw my arrow. Combine like terms, that's what they did there. They combined the x and the 6x to make 7x. Then it looks like they subtracted 3 on both sides. Oh, no, I got that wrong. They added 3 on both sides. So we're going to call that addition property of equality. Last, they divided, didn't they? So this is actually showing work. Technically, the arrow should go there. But anyway, this whole section is listed as D. So that's the name of our steps. All right, question number 7. We have a question that looked like this in our notes. We don't like it when the variable has a negative, so we're going to add. So if I add 3D to both sides, I get 10 on one side, 43 plus 3D. All right, not everybody, but some people didn't like the order of this. So I'm actually just going to swap these spots. That's called the symmetry property, right? What's on the right is equal to what's on the left. So it shouldn't matter which side, the left or the right, it's on. Now this looks like the two-step equation we're used to. So we're going to subtract 43 on both sides. and then divide by 3 on both sides. And it's really similar to this question, so you may use that as a guide in the test. I get -11. Now we want to plug this back in because on a high stakes test, we want to be sure. So I get -3 times d plus 10 is supposed to be 43. That was my original problem. And I'm going to plug this in there. So -3 times -11 plus 10. So that'd be 33 plus 10. That'd be 43. Yes, and it is equal to 43. So that's perfect. We plugged it in. All right. Last question, it says, Erica, Joe, and Amelia are best friends. The sum of their consecutive ages is 78. So we know if we add together their ages, we get 78. And so in class, we said, okay, let's divide their ages by 3 to find out. You probably will use a calculator. I'm just going to do it by hand here. Okay, so definitely 26. Everyone's around 26. So we said consecutive means whole numbers in a row. So that means this person must be 27, and so I add 1 and I subtract 1. That must be 25. And it says write an equation to represent the scenario above. That's interesting. I kind of did this. I did 3 times x equals 78, and I divided by 3 on both sides, and I got 26. If I had to write a full equation for this, I could say this first one is x minus 1. This second one is x by itself, and this third one is x plus 1. And we know those numbers have to add up to 78. So in an interesting way, we were able to solve the question like this. So I'm okay with this one or this one, that's fine. But we notice in this equation, that's exactly what we did. We found that number and we added 1 and we subtracted 1. So we notice there's a lot we can combine here. We have 1x, 2x, we have 3 x's, and then we have minus 1 plus 1. Minus 1 plus 1 equals 78. Notice minus 1 plus 1 goes away. And so this equation was just as good as that equation. The thinking was there, and that's totally okay to give your equation like that. What is the age of the oldest friend? So the oldest friend would be 27 years old. All right, gang, that's it. Thanks for joining me.